as a first-generation college student and a low-income student and Afro-Latina, I ventured into college because I really wanted to figure out what I wanted to do in terms of my education and career, but I have heard great things about it when I was in high school, and I'm like, I don't really have anyone that attended college at the time, right? And I'm the youngest of 7. So when I decided to go to college is because of my high school peers, but also my advisors and counselors in high school and my teachers as well that really helped me figure out, okay, college is the right path for me and it's going to open many opportunities. So I decided to do that. And I ventured into DePaul University where I got my bachelor's degree in psychology and a minor in community service. And while I was at DePaul, I was able to connect with different clubs and organizations and student support services, which really helped me become the person that I am today and gave me a lot of resources in terms of like academic advising and support that I didn't think I would get anywhere else. And then I also got my master's degree in higher education from the University of Pennsylvania, where I became a graduate assistant in the Center for Race and Equity in Education. And then I was able to also do a lot of consulting and coaching across the U.S. as well, a part of my graduate assistantship.
I'd say overall very different, just given life experiences. So there's a 10-year gap in between completing my bachelor's and then going back to school full-time as a master's student. And I'll say, I was born and raised in San Antonio, Texas, first-generation college graduate myself, and was a high-achieving student, product of public school education. And so when I made the decision to leave home, go to school on the East Coast, I attended Georgetown, which is a pretty selective institution, the oldest Catholic school in the country. And but my choice to go there was really made out of affordability. And so oddly enough, it was a lot more affordable to go the 4 years there than it was to stay in state and enroll at a 4-year public institution. So, but I felt like a fish out of water. To be honest, that was the first time that I felt like a racialized minority. I'd grown up in these different outreach programs and supporting Black and Brown youth, but to be in an environment where everybody seemed richer than I, folks were mostly white or white passing, and I just felt like it was a place where I didn't belong. But I think what Georgetown did really well at the time, and as I continue to stay engaged as an alum, like they continue to really pull a lot of resources. They've got so many resources, and so they do a good job to provide onboarding support. I was part of a summer bridge program that's been there now for over 50 years. And so right off the bat, I was connected with other students who looked like me or at least had the first generation experience. And so that set me up for success, but I still had to fight the imposter syndrome throughout my 4 years.
My college experience was challenging. As a first generation college attendee, I had no one to show me the ropes or to explain the process of enrolling in higher education. Enrolling in community college was a process, was something that I've learned, but it was also a place where I failed. But I didn't give up. I took some time to work and enroll once again and ensure that I was focused, and I completed my goals in getting my associate degree, which was a big deal for my family as being the first person in my immediate family to have a college degree. From there, I enrolled in a graduate program to obtain the criminal justice bachelor's, and took a little break to live life, to have children, to get married. And I am currently enrolled at NLU in the higher education PhD program.
So the first part of my journey, I started in community colleges. So I went to a community college in Tampa, Florida, and then I moved back to Chicago and went to a city college. Here, I went to Wright College for 1 year, and then I transferred to Columbia College. Very, very different experiences. Both community colleges, both in Florida and in Chicago, were a little bit more diverse, a little bit more colorful. Columbia was much more, I've always been a minority, but I was definitely a minority there, for sure. Like if there was 15 students in my class, 2 of them were Latino, and I was one of those 2. And sometimes the assimilation was so heavy that I didn't even know somebody was Latino just like me, because they assimilated so much to the culture of the school that you found out that they were, of Latino heritage when you learned their last name. I went to, when I went to grad school, I went to National Louis University. I was in a cohort in there, so it was a much smaller group. So there was literally like an even number of each of the group that was represented in the cohort. So like 2 Black students, two white students, and then 2 Latino students, because it was a smaller cohort. And we were all women.